Suikoden 2 is a sequel to the genre-defining Suikoden that absolutely rocked the PS1. But Suikoden 2 took things up to a whole new level. Released in 1999 by Konami, Suikoden 2 sets the franchise into the stratosphere and redefined what a JRPG can be. It is essentially the Final Fantasy VII of the series, but it only took Konami until the second installment to reach these heights. So what is Suikoden 2 and why does it have this mythic status? Well, it all starts with the story. Suikoden 2 takes place between 10 and 20 years after the original Suikoden. The main character from Suikoden 1 has disappeared, and we focus on the tale of a new little boy, because Konami thought only little kids played JRPGs. The child protagonists of the Suikoden series are a holdover from a time when video games were still considered toys, marketed primarily to little boys. The presence of a child protagonist doesn't change much though, since they are the silent protagonists for whom you select all their dialogue. The main character may be a weak point, but the other characters more than make up for it. The colorful cast of characters includes animals, anime-inspired archetypes, and even some edgelords. There are over 100 unique characters in all. Some return from Suikoden 2, while others are brand new. Each character inhabits a world dripping with fantasy RPG charm. The world of Suikoden is a lively one, and you will get lost in it. The story of Suikoden is really all about war, building an army, furnishing a headquarters, and making friends. If that sounds like fun to you, then you will like the entire Suikoden franchise, since that formula never really changes. The gameplay in Suikoden 2 is a bit hard to nail down. On the surface, it is a turn-based JRPG, but there are also tactical, base building, collector-based, and even friendship simulator elements all at play. Basically, Suikoden 2 tries to bring the story of assembling an army to overthrow an evil empire to life, and it did it with the tools available to a 1991 PlayStation 1 title. These tools are a bit limited, obviously. In a primary JRPG mode, you and your party will visit towns and recruit soldiers. You'll play minigames, trigger a handful of fully rendered cutscenes, and defeat the evil empire of Highland. You fight the empire by collecting MacGuffins, freeing VIPs, and storming keeps after your army kicks the door down. Oh, and don't expect a quest log or an indicator that shows you where to go. This is an old school JRPG, so you will wander around and not know what to do sometimes. Suikoden 2 does not hold your hand. You will get confused and not know where to go, so wandering around is part of the charm. In fact, the bulk of the difficulty in Suikoden 2 comes from figuring out what you need to do and how to recruit certain characters, or how to even just make the story progress. That's the real challenge here, since most of the battles are fairly forgiving. Now, how you use your army is another story. You recruit soldiers who fill your ranks and help you in turn-based combat. The army battles are honestly not the best of the series so far, since they're box standard strategy, turn-based style. Basically, the characters you recruit in the open world fill out your army's units. The fights are a bit dry and tedious and are mostly predetermined by story beats. Okay, so you beat the army in the field, you storm the keep with your elite team of 6, and now you face the leader of the enemy army. So how do you deal with this person? Why, you engage in an honorable 1v1 duel, of course. The duels are pure rock, paper, scissors. The enemy telegraphs their attack by trash talking before each turn. You guess their moves, or you unethically look them up in a wiki, and you counter them. Simple. Attacks beat defense. Defense beats wild attacks, and wild attack beats attacks. Now that I list all the major gameplay types, I can honestly say Suikoden 2 doesn't sound that incredible on paper. The duels are just a minigame. The large-scale battles are mostly simple, and they can maybe even be ignored sometimes. The JRPG elements are similar to what you get from Final Fantasy. But Suikoden 2 is worth more than the sum of its parts. It's the synergy of all these systems swirling together, creating something truly unique and powerful. It does a lot with buy-in. You believe you're assembling an army and defeating enemies in the field, even if it's just a few low-res running around. The world feels so lived in, and the pacing is so good that you buy into the setting, and by extension the gameplay. The JRPG combat is also greatly improved by increasing the party size and adding 2 row formations that make the whole thing feel more tactical, and like you're using the myriad of characters the game has you collect. Suikoden 2 doesn't invent the Suikoden gameplay style, but it does perfect it. I loved my time with Suikoden 2. I'm not denying that. I was already a fan of the series, and this game makes me want to try Suikoden 3, the franchise's black sheep. I want to see everything Konami's world has to offer, and that's the sign of a great game. So, is Suikoden 2 worthy of its title as the best of the series? Well, that of course comes down to your preferences. If you prefer 3D RPGs, I say go with Suikoden 5. If you like that old school 2.5D, well then pick Suikoden 2. Honestly, you should play both. Now, if that settles it, I have to babysit a newborn dragon.